Hello and welcome to another episode of the Smash Accept podcast. I'm your host, Michael Royer. You can find me on Twitter at DynastyDadFF. We got a great show lined up for you. It is Tuesday, so we're going to talk about trades. We got the NFL draft coming up, and I pity the fool of anybody who's not smashing those Dynasty trades. I got my vintage Mr. T t-shirt on. I'm ready to go. This is the last trade show we have before the NFL draft. Snoog, we've done so many of these, and I feel like we've reached a pinnacle. Last week, I don't know if we could beat this, but we had 21 super chats. We had 22 different trades covered. It was the best show we've had. I'm excited for an even better show tonight.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this one, especially because it's the last one before the rookie draft and for the NFL draft. So for a lot of people here, they're going to be keying in on what we're talking about with rookie drafts, rookie picks, what picks are going for right now before the draft. Because I'm telling you one thing, that Tuesday after the NFL draft, we're going to have a ton of crazy trades being made for you that are coming through left and right. So I'm excited to see how things change from now until post-draft with the values in some of these rookie picks.
Dude, we're talking about values. And, Brock, I just looked today, criminally underfollowed on Twitter. Let's get him up over 1,000 by the time this is over. That's at Brock Dynasty. It's been growing steadily. You've been doing a great job. We were talking about values. There is no better value than right now. This in our Smash Accept Patreon, patreon.com/Smash Accept. Code SMASH will get you 50% off your first month. Code DRAFT is going to get you 25% off 1 year. Brock, you can't beat these values. You're talking about 25% off for the year. Like, that makes this one of the best values you can absolutely get in Dynasty.
Yeah, I go in every day, and I'm not as up on everything as you and Snoo. You guys are a mile a minute in there, but yeah, the value speaks for itself. We put on, a few per episode, just some of the reviews and some of the comments from people that, appreciate what you guys do and help them win some trades. And that, at the end of the day, that's all we're here to do, and looking forward to it. But before we dive into it, we already got one, Dad. T. Miller
we got
coming
the super
out.
Chat on there. Does he have a question with it?
I think it's for the love of the game.
For the love of the game. And that's one of my favorite Costner movies. Draft Day is another one. You got to plug it in. The movie itself is not great, but you see the Post-it note and you get excited every single time. He wants his picks back. A lot of these guys, when we're done with the Smash Accept, shows, people want their picks back. So we got a lot of trades to cover. We're going to jump right into it. That's our first super chat. When we hit 5, we're going to give away 1 free basic month of Smash Patreon and a rookie guide. When we hit 10, we're going to give away 2 rookie guides, 2 VIP Patreons. When we hit 15, 2 rookie guides, 2 VIP Patreons, and an extra 15-minute Q&A just to help you guys smash, because we know you guys have rookie drafts right around the corner. So take it away, Brock. This one, we're going to start out right off with a actual Smash Accept 13 trade.
Yeah. This one's coming from Smash Accept 13. We got one side with Scott Smash, other side with Call Me Young from the Discord. So with this trade, first side's got Caleb, the 303 and the 306. And the other side's got Trevor Lawrence, the 109 and 209. Dad, I'm going to kick this one over here to you. What do we think on this? Is this the league you're in, right?
This is Caleb Williams for me all day long. I like Trevor Lawrence. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to recoup some value. The 209 versus the 303, 306 to me is just going to be a wash. I think that's going to be out of the way. But I do think the difference between Caleb and Lawrence in the 109, I'm still preferring Caleb Williams. With the Ben Johnson there, with the way this offense is going, Snook, am I crazy to still favor Caleb Williams?
It's time to go buy some Caleb Williams, I guess. That's what I'm taking away from this. So he has upside to be a top 5 dynasty quarterback. Trevor Lawrence never, ever, ever, ever will be. So Caleb Williams all day long. It'd need to be like the 104, 105 at the worst. Like I'd probably want like 103, 104 to do that.
Yeah, I would think 4 is about the line, because then I know I'm getting Trevor Lawrence, and then I'm going to get, I'm either going to get Travion Henderson or Ted McMillan. That's where it's got to be. And in this year's class, you're not replacing the quarterback. So well done on that one. It's a fair trade for both sides, but yeah, I'm definitely taking the Caleb side in this one. And unfortunately, this is the league where I have 13 picks over the next 2 years, 9 first in this draft, and I wanted Caleb. So Scott, I think you got Caleb there. Send him my way. Let's rock.
All right. Good one there, boys. Trade number 2. We got I don't know if we have who this one's from, but we got one side with Saquon and the other side with Devon Achane, the cuff there, Jalen Wright, and the 204. Snoog, I'm going to kick this one over here to you. What do we think?
Give me Saquon Barkley. I want to win championships. He has RB1 overall upside for the next 2 to 3 years. He's there in Philly. And if the tush push ever did or would get burnt, if it ever did get banned for some reason, it's not gonna. But if it ever did, Saquon Barkley would have like 35 touchdowns and 2,000 rushing yards.
He'd have like that LT year where he had like 34 or something crazy, 31.
Yeah, I apologize. That one was from Dynasty Flex on Twitter. You got to flex your guns on this one and go Saquon Barkley as well. If this was 201, I think I'd take Achane. Like I think Jalen Wright has now become one of the most premium insurance handcuffs. But I do think he's potentially replaced in this draft too. Like he's not even safe with what he had. And there's so many guys there. Achane versus Saquon. I think if I'm rebuilding, I would take Achane 204 and you throw me like a 27-2-3 swap, because I do think the gap between Achane and Saquon is closer to a late first, early second. So this trade isn't bad. I personally have just taken the Saquon Barkley side.
All right. Good one there. Trade number 3 here coming from Donnie J05 over on Twitter. We got a similar one here with Achane on one, Saquon on the other, but this time we got a pick swap in there, the 102 and the 110. Dad, does this change things for you here now? It's not just, Jalen Wright in the 204. Yeah. It's now an 8-pick swap. You're jumping up. This changed stuff for you?
100%. So the way I look at this trade is, and this is the type of trade that I like to make, is we have Achane, we have Saquon, and I'm like, this is what we did on the first trade where it was just Achane in the 204. It's not really that sexy, right? But you make a trade like this where you talk about the 102 versus 110. I have the 102 worth Saquon Barkley. So on the left-hand side with Achane, I'm literally buying Devon Achane for the 110. Danny J, the cowbell's coming out, baby, because this is how you do it. Sometimes you disguise that trade, right? Where someone's like, oh, well, Saquon's so much better than Devon Achane. And in fantasy points per game, with Tua there, the difference isn't that big. But the difference between might get Caleb Johnson at 110 versus Omarion Hampton at 102. Pick your poison. Snoog's not going to like Omarion there, but that's the way this deal is done. I mean, I think the 102 is an absolute smash accept.
Hell yeah.
I agree.
Before we jump into that next one, we do got 2 super chats here. First one coming from LB Money. Appreciate the super chat there, LB. Said we got an 8-team super flex, so pretty shallow league. Got one side with 104, other side with Demont, the 201, and a 26 second. Snoog, I see you motioning for we all know what. What do you think on this one?
I'm shaking that damn cowbell because you're turning not turd sandwiches, but a bunch of mid-tier assets into an elite asset. And anytime I can do that, I will jump on that train.
Yeah, so when you look at an 8-team league, you're all about them studs, right? Now that does make the 201 the 9th pick. So I mean that's Igbuka or someone pretty solid. However, at the 104, I think we're really trying to tier up. So I mean, if I am rebuilding, this is the right move, the right area to move into, but I don't like it. I'm all about the 104 here, LB. I think if this is something where I would almost want Monty 201 and a 26-1-2 swap to consider that if I'm rebuilding, but I'm smashing the 104. Hey, my man Ed Mayer's back in the house.
Yeah, we got our regular Ed back. Appreciate the super chat, Ed. He said, what's up, guys? What's up, Ed? Thoughts on 105 and the 210 on one side for DJ Moore, Alvin Kamara, and I'm going to say Braylon Allen for the handcuff on Hall. So he has Brees. What do we like, 105, 210, or DJ Moore, Kamara, and Braylon Allen? Dad, what do we think here on this one?
I low-key like the 105 more. I mean, I have DJ Moore worth the 108, right? And I have Alvin Kamara worth like 201. So I think if he has Hall and he's really trying to, get the insurance for Brees Hall, I can see this. I just don't love giving up the premium asset in the deal, right? Like DJ Moore is fantastic. I think DJ Moore's going to have a great season. I think Alvin Kamara could be an RB1, and I think that's the spot. But at 105, you're giving up a shot to get Travion Henderson, who could be worth more than the entire package. You're giving up a shot to give up Tet McMillan, who could be worth more than the entire package. So I would rather you see you go out there and take the 210 plus your 26 second and get Kamara and Braylon Allen. Leave DJ Moore off this. Snoog, what do you think here? I mean, like, I love DJ Moore and I love Kamara as much as you do, but I hate giving up the 105 here.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go with the DJ Moore side. I just think it's a really good kind of putting the pieces in. You're getting like a damn near cornerstone type wide receiver that's still 27 years old, who's going to be a top 10 to 12 finisher for a few years. And then you're getting a low end, high end RB1 for the next 1 to 2 years as well. So I think as a contender, it's a good move. As a rebuilder, it's a great move for the picks. So I like it. I think it's overall good.
Yeah, and Ed's in the Discord. Hit us up on that one if you need any kind of verification from both of us. Speaking of the Discord, and Snoop's trying not to die. He's giving it his all tonight with really bad allergies. But we got one here from Cornflakes in the Discord.
Yeah, let's do this one quick because we got another super chat, or else we want to tackle that one first. But we got trade 4 coming from Cornflakes on Discord. We got one side with the 103 and 106, and the other side with the 102 and 110. Now, before I kick this over to you, Snoog, we've seen a lot of these trades packaged similarly to this, but it's the 101 on one side. Now, that's not the 101. That's not JT. That's the 102 and 110. Are we still going to take those mid picks there? Or we want the early one and the late one? What do we think?
I love the 103 side here all day long. All day long. The gap between 106 and 110 is massive. The gap between my 102 and 103 isn't big.
Yeah, and I put a post out there today, and I've been telling everybody they should be trading inside the top 7 picks, and that's definitely the way to do it. But if you can tier back, I think this is almost short. Like the gap between 102 and 103, and I love Hampton, and he's going to be my 102, but I think in a lot of leagues, he's going to fall to 103 because people are going to take Tet. They're going to jump on Ward. They're going to jump on Hunter. This year's class has such a variance from 102 to 107. I want to make sure I'm getting 2 premium picks. So, I mean, I look at this, I'm giving up Hampton and a uncertainty at 110, which I like 108 to 112. And if I'm getting multiple picks, sure. But this is a rebuilding team. I want the 103 and 106. And then I'm going to trade the 106 for the 111 and a first. And I'm going to come away with 3 firsts. You're not going to get a first plus for the 110. The gap between 2 to 3 is nowhere near this much. So I think the gap between 2 and 3 is a mid-second, maybe an early second if you have enough conviction.
Yeah, good one there, Cornflakes. So you get another super chat. It's from T. Miller. He's back this time with a message. So he says he's an A-Rich holder. He's contending, but he has a chance to turn A-Rich and Terry into Dak in the 205. He's got a couple good receivers there, Amon-Ra, Puka, and Zay. Is that too much AR and Terry for Dak in the 205? Dad, what do we think here on this one?
So my man at FF Bird Gang put out a thread today about Anthony Richardson's value. And Anthony Richardson, according to you guys on Twitter, is worth the 204. I say, you can't sell for the 204. Like, why would you give up? Over the 14 games that Anthony Richardson has started, he has had 12 of them inside the top 24, 7 of them inside the top 12, and 4 of them inside the top 4. So, I mean, he has been a quarterback won 25, or I'm sorry, he's been a quarterback won 50% of his games, and we're calling him a bust. It's not pretty. I get it. But there's a real world scenario where Anthony Richardson outscores Dak Prescott. Terry McLaurin's definitely going to outscore anything you're looking at the 205. So I'm not opposed to buying Dak. I just hate trading Anthony Richardson at his floor right now. Like Snoog, there's a real world scenario where Anthony Richardson recoups value and is a quarterback 1. There's also another real world value where he disappears and isn't worth a Buffalo nickel. But for me, it's like, I'm not going to give him up for the 204. This just feels a little bit cheap to me. I don't know about you, Snoog, because I know you're a little bit higher on Dak than I am.
This one's so tough to me. I think I'm so much over Terry over the 205, which is kind of steering me that way. Especially because I think having Amon-Ra, Puka, Zay, and Terry is a lot better than just having Amon-Ra, Puka, and Zay. I'm taking Terry in the 205 out of it, and I'm adding a second to A-Rich side for Dak. That's what I'm doing. That's how I'm going to try to navigate this. I'm taking Terry out of it. I'm taking the 205 out of it and trying to figure out another way to get this done.
I commented on there and I got blasted for it, but I said Anthony Richardson's one of two things. He's a buy or a hold. He can't be a sell. Like there's no way that you invested either the 102 rookie pick or last year. Let's be honest, you invested a late first startup pick.
Yeah,
and I did that on a team, and I mean, like I am feeling the pain of that now because imagine like if you don't have it's like giving away your first in a startup and just being like, I don't need it. Let's just roll with it, and banking on a quarterback. I don't feel like you can sell him at this point. So I would hold him. He's the perfect QB3, QB4. Like where I have my teams, most of my teams like smashes at 14, like we were referencing. I have Burrow and Josh Allen. I don't care if I have Geno Smith as my QB3. Give me Anthony Richardson as my QB3. He's the perfect guy to have as just like Justin Fields. Like go get those guys as the QB3. Go out there and win. Just like we've passed our 5 super chats. Brandon Jacobs, awesome guy in one of the Smash Accept leagues and in the Discord. Got a good trade here.
Yeah, appreciate the super chat here, Brandon. And congrats on a great career there with the Giants. We got a 12-team super flex league. We got one side with Mahomes and the 110 and the other side with Herbert and the 106. Now, Dad, you might need to refresh me on some of your QB rankings, but is the pick swap on the right side here? What do we think?
I do have Mahomes over Herbert. I do think Mahomes bounces back a little bit, but I have Mahomes and Herbert in the same tier. So I actually like the 106 here. Like I know you were referencing Brandon Jacobs. Did you ever see the interview of him talking about doing cocaine in high school and rushing for 250 yards and 4 touchdowns?
I think I did.
That blows my mind. But Brandon Jacobs, I think I am taking Justin Herbert in the 106 here. And Snook, you're the Mahomes guy, but you and I both love Herbert. Is that 1.6 to 110 enough?
Yeah, I'm taking the Herbert side here very easily. Like you said, same tier for me, but I'm gonna go with the big pick swap because we're getting one of our big 6 versus Caleb Johnson, Colson Loveland, Shador Sanders type of player.
Yep, love it. Love it. Caleb Phillips here. And guys, again, look on the left and right side, use code SMASH for 50% off your first month. I've seen multiple guys while we're live streaming doing that. The big deal, though, is using code DRAFT for 25% off your yearly. If you guys do that at the
that's
top
3 months
tier,
free. That's 3 months free.
Exactly. A lot of guys are like, oh, that's less percent. No, the first one is just for 1 month. The other one, that's the whole year, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Appreciate the super chat here, Caleb. And I believe that is 6. So we already hit that first threshold, working toward 10 and maybe even 15. That I know we got something special there for 15. So Caleb said he's a rebuilder. We got one side with 102 and Brandon Ayuk, and the other side with Laporta, a mid-ish 27 first and a 27 second. I love how you labeled that, Caleb, because you honestly probably don't know where that 27 first is going to be. But Snoog, what do we think here on this one?
Yeah, I want the 102 all day, and I'm going to flip Ayuk for any first I can get. Any 27 or 26 first I can get, I'm going to do it. So
I'm in those one
Sam
of those
Laporta
weird
is
spots.
such a sell, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm in one of those weird spots where this is kind of neither for me. Is like if that is mid-ish to early and you're rebuilding, that's the right track. Laporta is a foundational tight end. If that's mid-ish to late, it's gonna sting a little bit. I would rather see Caleb. I would rather see you take the 102 and move back to 106, 107 and get a 27 first, and then take Tyler Warren, who's going to be a better player. Or, because in this one, you're almost giving up the 27 second for Ayuk. So I do lean the Laporta first and second side just because it's a little bit more capital. You get a younger asset in Laporta over Ayuk, but I don't think the 102 is just.
It's a little too juicy, man. I don't want to move the top 2 pick right now, even if I'm rebuilding.
I struggle with this one mightily. You know what I mean? Like I feel like this is not the right deal either way. And we talk about that on the show, right? Snook is like sometimes this is an offer. It doesn't have to be yes or no. It could be let's revisit and think something over. Like if I go and I get this to be 102 Ayuk and a 27 second for Laporta and 227 first, now we're starting to get there. Or we get something else added in there. Then I'm there, but like for me, it's neither right now.
I just think 102 is so much more valuable than a Sam Laporta, like so much more valuable. Yeah. Like what's Sam Laporta's ceiling? 215 fantasy points, 800 yards, 8 touchdowns. Like the heck do I want that for? Like this.
There was a 27 first on that side too.
Well,
yeah, but you cancels that out.
We've seen Laporta. Didn't Laporta have 12 touchdowns as a rookie?
He did.
Yeah, Ben Johnson's gone. That ain't happening no more. You could kiss Sam Laporta love goodbye if you like him. Tyler Warren's coming for his spot.
Yeah, he had 889 and 10 his rookie year. But, if we don't know what the premium is this one, Caleb, message us with a little bit further content. Guys, keep them super chats coming. We've passed the place where we're going to give away a rookie guide and a basic. 4 more, we'll give away 2 rookie guides and 2 VIP month of the Patreon.
All right. Coming back here, we got trade number 5 from Westbrook 23 over on the Discord. So we got one side with JJ McCarthy and the 209. The other side with Russ, Jaden Reed, Xavier Legette, the 109, and a 26 second. He's rebuilding, looking to tear down. Dad, I hear something off in the distance. What are we thinking over there?
See, Snoop, this is like when you take that turd sandwich and you just polish it up real nice. You know what I mean? And you turn it into a cowbell. Like, this is it. You go and you take Legette, Reed, Russ, 109, and then you get JJ McCarthy. You get yourself a quarterback that's young and ascending, and then you do that 26 or the 209. Take out the 26 second, the 209. I'm buying McCarthy for these 3 turds all day long and the 109. I think McCarthy's value is just going to skyrocket.
Yeah, I'm with you there. It wasn't a cowbell type trade for me, but I think I'd be trying to turn Reed in that 26 second into a random first if I could. And I know the market's really, really cold on Reed right now, but there was a time you could easily get a first for him. If I can find anybody to kind of bite on that, I would way rather that than McCarthy. But in this case, you're probably stuck with Jaden Reed being worth like a second in the league you're in. And yes, I'll take McCarthy over that.
Reed's one of the toughest guys to value because no one wants him. No one's buying him. There was a time I sold him for the 108 last year, because he had some hype. Now it's like same with Xavier Legette. Go out and try to get a 26 or 27 second for Xavier Legette. You aren't doing it. Go out there and try to get anything above the 205 for Jaden Reed. I don't think you can. So like we're taking a lot of seconds here, throwing them together and trying to go up there and get ourselves a JJ McCarthy, in my opinion. So we got another super chat. Love it. Let's pull this one up. We had Caleb did the last one.
We got our 7th here from Max Goosen. Appreciate the super chat there, Max. So he's got a 12-team league, start 11, super flexed, 1.0 tight end premium. We got Neighbors on one side or Ladd and the 103 on the other. Snoog, what do we think on this one?
Yeah, I'm going to take Neighbors here. I want Neighbors.
Yeah. I mean, I think we
it's close though.
Ladd in the 103, so it's like Ladd and Hunter or Tet. I think you'd really have to be, and I like that it's start 11, so it is a little deeper format. If it is start 3 wide receivers, it does become a little bit closer. But I think by the time this year is over, Snoog, Malik Neighbors is really going to show who he is, and Ladd McConkey is going to come back down a little bit. I still love Ladd, but I think there's no chance that Ladd gets anywhere close to where Malik Neighbors is value-wise. Malik Neighbors low-key could, get into that Jefferson Chase area where Ladd is just going to continue to be where he's at, I think, in that 8 to 12 range. The 103 could bump up. So this isn't a bad trade by any stretch, but I think I'm sticking with Malik Neighbors. If it's the 102, I think I might take it. Snoog. Yeah. I mean, 101, it's not even close, but 102, I think I'm going to do that. 103, not so much. So if we're doing the Ladd side, get a 26 or 1-2 swap or a 27 1-2 swap. Just say, hey, you're getting one of the most elite wide receivers in the game. Like there is like we said last time, 120%. You're getting that a little bit extra that you got to give for that stud tax,
Yep.
Yeah. Trade number 6 here coming from Chaz over on the Discord. We got another rebuilding team. We got one side with the 102 and the 201. The other side with Saquon, the 111 and the 207. Dad, rebuilding team here. What are we doing?
It's just like the other one. It kind of lacks a clear direction. I think there's more value on the Saquon 111 207 side because I have Saquon worth the 102, right? And the 111 207 is clearly has to be over the 201. So it's like if I'm rebuilding, I would sell Saquon for the 102 easily, right? I have no problem there. if you want to do it in this way, I mean, like, I think that's kind of what we want to frame this around, because you're selling Saquon at value, but then you're losing a little bit of value by getting that 111, 207. So, Snoog, this is kind of a tricky one. You know, we talk about the rebuild process. We want to build out. I think there's more value on the Saquon side. So I almost would want to take the Saquon side and see what I can get for more, unless it's, you know, when we talk about rebuilding, in the beginning, we're building out, and later on, we're building up. And if we're building up, then I'll take the Saquon side. If I'm building out, the 102 at face value, what you can do with the 102 is going to be more if we're talking rebuild from that side.
Yeah, I think if I can get the 102 for Saquon, I'd probably do that all day long. I would. Yeah. I just can't get myself to value Saquon at the 102 because 28 years old, like he gets a CMC injury or a hamstring injury, any type of injury this year, he's instantly losing value. I don't care what he does, what he is, how good he's doing. It's just the way it goes. That's the dynasty market in a nutshell. So I love Saquon Barkley, but if I can get the 102 for him and then just tier back from 111 to 2, I probably value Saquon. I'd pay the 104, 105 for him. I would never pay 102 or 103 for him personally, but I would want to sell him for that.
Yeah,
because that's market value.
Both of us, as far as where we're looking at things, have totally different perceptions of the where we're doing things versus this class. I seem to be a little bit higher on the veteran side. You seem to be a little bit higher on the pick side. Like when you look at both of our equivalents of players, you know, I'm usually 1 or 2 spots higher on the player side. You're usually 1 or 2 spots higher on the pick side. So, but this one, Snoog, is you can't lose twice. Go back, you know, even if you think he's worth that, the 207's being thrown in for nothing. And the 207 this year is Jalen Noel or Jaden Higgins or DJ Giddens. It's going to be a nice player. Like, don't give up on those seconds way too cheap.
All right. Trade number 7 here coming from Oliver Pringle over on Twitter. We got one side with the 101. The other side with a pair of Seahawks. We got JSN and Kenneth Walker. Dad, what do we think here on this one? 101 or JSN and Ken Bone?
This is a tough one. I don't really like owning Seahawks, and to be honest. I have JSN worth like the 103 and I have Walker worth like the 108. I would not pay the 103 and 108 for the 101. So I'm taking Genty here. I just think people forget what Saquon Barkley did his rookie season. Ashton Genty's going to do that and feed families. Like you're getting an elite level player. And yes,
same with JSN, Kareem Hunt.
But I mean, JSN and Walker are nice players. And if this is 14 team, maybe I'm considering it. But Genty's just too good. And we got Snoog. I mean, teams are talking about trading up to 4 and 5 to get him now. Like that's what you're hearing is I keep hearing, and I think it was Brian B. What the heck's his name? Not Baldinger.
Baldy.
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Baldinger. He was saying he hears rumors that there is something massive happening inside the top 5. And if that happens, what talent is there out of that? I mean, Abdul Carter's going to be gone. Hunter's going to be gone. Ward's going to be gone. It's going to be somebody trading up for Genty. And if they do that, his value is going to skyrocket. People are going to get so excited for him.
I could see the Bears doing it. I could also see the Jag. I don't think he makes it past the Jags or Raiders at 5 and 6. If that's
no chance.
Stick there and pick there. But if he does slip, I could see the Bears jumping up to like with the Jets at 7, moving up 3 spots and taking them. I could see that, so that the Saints won't take them, but like those teams that are slightly above can't have a chance at getting them. Like the Panthers, like they could swing on a Genty because teams will take the best player on their board if they're by far the best player on their board. Whether they have a running back, whether they have a wide out, whatever it is, teams are going to take the best player on their board. In a class like this, Ashton Genty, 3rd best player in this class, 1 of 3 blue chip prospects.
Yeah, I wouldn't even mind him going to the Jaguars, to be honest. I think there's going to be a lot of trades in this, but I mean, him going to the Jaguars and the Jaguars trading ETN somewhere else, I have no problem with that. You know what I mean? Like, I have no problem. The Raiders, he's going to be fantastic. I just think almost every trade I see with Ashton Genty in it, I prefer the Genty side. It's like every trade I see with Brock Bowers, I'm like, I prefer the Brock Bowers side. It's almost that where it's like same with Malik Neighbors. You got to overpay or else it's not even worth it.
Yeah. Next one here, trade number 9, coming from Davaray over on Discord. We got one side We got Bucky on both sides here. I'm assuming Bucky in the 110 for 102.
Give me 1 second here. Speaking of that, why don't we sell on the Patreon here real quick, and I will pull this up because I have no idea why that's not like that.
It's probably Bucky in 110 for 102. That sounds.
That's what I would. I think
this is.
I feel like someone asked me that question in the Discord.
No, it's Bucky 102 or 101 110.
Oh, 101.
Interesting. Bucky
what?
1-2. Wait, Bucky and 102 for
Bucky and 102 or 110 and 101.
101.
That one's tough.
Oh, I'm smashing Bucky 102 all day.
I'm smashing the 101.
I think the difference between Bucky Irving and Genty is quite a bit. However, Amarion Hampton versus whatever you're getting at the 110, you're getting two bona fide top 10 running backs. I'm smashing this 10 times out of 10.
That one's tough. Bucky Irving is still a 4th round pick. Like, you got to remember, that's like the one thing in the back of my mind. Like, Genty's about to go top 5. That one's tough.
It's not even
Hampton's gonna go top 12.
Hampton's going 20s or early second round.
Stop it. Stop.
He's not going top. I will give 5 people in the comments of this video free yearly Patreons if he goes top 12.
That's coming out of Snook's salary, so we're gonna.
That's a good one though. I like that trade. All right,
that was a fun one.
Next super chat here coming from LB Money, coming back again. He said, we got one side with Jacobs, Goff, and a 2026 second. Other side with the 107, Michael Penix, Chris Olave, and Jalen Wright. Dad, I'm going to kick this one over here to you. What do we think?
Ooh, this is an interesting one. All right. So I'm leaning the 107 side because I think the gap between Penix, I'm just going to say Penix 107 is the same as Goff Jacobs to me, value-wise, but I prefer Olave way over the 26 second. Jalen Wright's basically free on this because I have Jacobs worth the 108 to 110. Penix and Goff, I have Goff maybe 105, Penix 106, 107. So, I mean, for me, it's almost like Olave for a second and a free Jalen Wright. Like, you're getting tons of value on that right-hand side. Even if I'm contending, I mean, I want the left-hand side contending, but I think I would strip it down. So the value for me is on the 107 side, Snoop. What do you think?
Yeah,
they aren't guys I love, though.
Yeah, I'm smashing the Penix side. 107 and Olave over Goff. Oh, I read that so wrong. I read Jared Goff that whole time in a second, and I was just like, what am I missing
instead of Jacobs?
Jacobs Goff.
Yeah. So it's Jacobs and Goff. I'm still going to go with the Penix side because I think the 107 is more valuable than Jacobs, and I'm taking Penix and Olave over Goff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's same results, similar type thing there. So I like that a lot. We split up the Bucky trades, and again, man, I gotta post out Bucky 102 versus Genty 110. You're smashing Genty there. That one blows my mind because I know we got three Bucky Irving trades in here, all of them from the Discord after you said to sell them on the last show, and people are jumping in there. They're like, let's see what we can do. Let's kick the tires. Rygar's the first guy, and he's got another one here. So what are we taking?
All right.
We got 2.
We got the first one with the 105 or Bucky Irving. Snoog, where you at?
Don't even do it.
I'm taking the 105.
Are you a Bucky hater? I feel like I didn't know this about you.
I'm taking the 105. Travion Henderson, and Marion Hampton, Ted McMillan, and Travis Hunter are all better than Bucky Irving, all more valuable than Bucky Irving. Yeah. What's Bucky Irving's ceiling? Tell me it. 250 fantasy points?
I think that's what he did last year over the whole season.
1,000 yards rushing, 45 receptions because Rashad White's there catching 50, 60, 70 passes. What's the ceiling? He lost his offensive coordinator too.
No. He had 32 receptions last year, and he only started over the last 8 games, man. I think
he's a great player, but I'm not here to get a guy that's going to put up 250 fantasy points over a player that could be a top 5 player at his position.
Travion Henderson is going to go 3, so he's going to be gone because he's going to end up going way up there. So Tet's going to be 4, so it's Warren or Hunter.
That go top 10.
I don't see it, man.
I'm seeing the vision. I'm seeing the vision.
I got Bucky at 104, so I'm taking Bucky all day.
Wait till you see all the suckers that take Cam Ward 103, and then I end up with Henderson, McMillan, or Hunter at 105.
And then, all right, we got a second one here. Let's see where we're at here.
Yeah, we got one side both here with the second part from Rygaard with the 105, 204, 212, 27 second, or the other side with Bucky and 110. Snoog, what about this one? What do we think?
I like Bucky over on this one. I like the Bucky.
All right. Now he sold Bucky in both of them, so I mean I'm Bucky on both of these. I'm firmly on the Bucky side. I think Bucky in 110. The 110 is considerably over 204, 212, 27 seconds. So whether you like him or not, Snoog and I might not always agree on players, but we understand the process of how we're getting to there. So I
love him. He's a great player. He's a great player, but I'm not here to make relationships with virtual players. I'm here to win money. Dad knows that.
And I think Bucky's very similar to what you've gotten on Lad a couple of times, and it's a similar type thing. Is you see the elite level prospects of who could be there, as opposed to Bucky and Lad both benefited from going to the best landing spots for them, right? Like they got ideal landing spots. That's the other part about the 105 is we don't. I mean, I don't want Travis Hunter on the Browns, but that's literally a done deal already. We're gonna if Travion doesn't go to the right spot. Then it ends up Warren goes to the Colts. Like we get an ugly type spot. So, I got that.
I like how you said that though, because you said, well, you get 105, the elite prospect who could be there, or you get Bucky Irvin, Lad McConkey, who we all think is there. Are they there? Are they really that good of players? No, people just don't want to sell high on players that did good. That's the issue. They want to sell players that did bad, like Anthony Richardson, Chris Olave, guys that had bad years.
Yeah.
Then people want to sell those players. It's the worst way to play Dynasty. You sell high on a Bucky. Think about when we told everyone to sell high on Rachaad Whitehead. We told everybody to buy him. He had an RB6 season, 250 plus fantasy points, and we told everybody to sell him. Well, and now look at him.
And value-wise, I'm there. I mean, Brock, I'm not trying to take over the show, but trade 19 from my man Sinclair at FF Discord. This is how you do it. It's Bucky Irvin for 2 firsts. You get a 26 first and a 27 first. Like players that you believe are elite, players that you believe you're going to get maximum trade value. The time is now. And if you can get above and beyond, you do it. I think if you get uncertainty, I don't love it. Like if we were getting 2 firsts, that's a smash. If I get the 105 plus and then I get Bucky and a lesser wide receiver, if I give up Godwin and Bucky and I get the 105 and I get a Mike Evans or a guy that I like a little bit more, kind of moving that way. So, guys, we are 2 super chats away from giving away 2 rookie guides, 2 VIP Patreons, which is, what is that, Snoog? I'm bad at math, but that is $100 value. So let's do it. Let's give it away. Andy Blake's trade here is going to be the one that sets off.
All right, we got Andy Blake here with trade number 11. One side with Jamar Chase and the 211. Oh, boys, do I even have to finish reading this one? I will. Breece Hall, Michael Penix, 109 Braylon. I guess I kind of revealed where I stand on this. Dad, what do you think on this one?
Where are you standing on this one?
I'm on the Jamar side.
You're on the Jamar side? I think Breece Hall, I think this is the type of trade where I look at it where, like, I love Breece Hall. Breece Hall's value is way too low. One of the OGs of Smash Accept, Josh from Smash Accept 3 was like, I just bought Breece Hall for the 108. Like, can you tell me what's going on? And I think that's just people overreacting. However, on this one, this looks like the type of trade where you're like, okay, I have Breece Hall. He's my RB3. I have Penix. He's my QB4. Let me throw in the 109. Let's tier up to Jamar Chase. I think if this is the 104, I'm taking the Hall side. But as of right here, I'm with you too. I'm taking the Jamar Chase side.
Same. I think I'm taking Chase here. Just that cornerstone wide receiver asset for guys. Breece Hall's a stud, but other than that, it's kind of mid-tier assets that I like to try to get off of.
Snoog, what's the value gap right now between Jamar Chase and Ashton Genty? Because someone asked me the other day, they're like, should I trade Jamar Chase for Genty plus? And the answer for me is no, just because Jamar Chase is such a cornerstone, foundational asset that, like, you just can't replace a wide receiver with that kind of longevity. But what pick would it be for you to move off him? So 101 plus
probably a first.
Well, 100% at first. How early? 103? I would need more than that.
No. I'd probably just take any mid first. Any
So
like 104, 104 to 106, I'd take on top of Genty. Yeah.
So 101, 104, even 101, 106 would get you Chase.
No, dude, he just put up 400 points. I feel like that's.
No, I wouldn't pay that for Chase. I would take the Genty side.
No, I want.
No, I'm saying I wouldn't do. Yeah, I like the Chase side too.
Genty has 350 to 380. What would you trade Gibbs or Bijan in a first for Chase? Because I wouldn't. No way in hell. They could outscore Chase any given year. And
I would trade Bijan
on cornerstone running back.
It's close. It's close.
No
it's
way.
Close. Yeah.
People get stuck. People get too stuck on that wide receivers last so much longer. Look at Alvin Kamara and that whole running back class compared to a lot of the wide up Michael Thomas, Cooper Kupp, all those guys. It doesn't necessarily always mean that.
But Jamar Chase is the type of wide receiver.
He's different.
The next 5 years is going to finish inside the top 5 every single year. So
and so is Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson. They're going to finish top 1 or 2.
Not in the top next 5. Not 5 years in a row though. Like that's where I'm at. It's like wide receivers are going to last 5 years. Alvin Kamara is the anomaly, right? Like he's not the norm. Everybody said Christian McCaffrey 5 years ago would have done it every single year, but then injuries start to kick in.
He almost did.
Wide receivers. Snook and I are seeing 100% eye to eye today.
I like winning. I like winning championships.
Yeah, Jamar just carried me to a ring in half my leagues, man.
Yeah, but look what I could do with Ashton Genty in the 104.
Yeah, trade tier 12 coming from Bayou Doth over on YouTube. We got one side with the 102 and the other side with the 108 and then a late projected, I guess, 26 first and second. So late first, late second next year, the 108 or this year's 102. Snoog, what do we think on this one?
Give me the 102.
Yeah, I do too. I think this is the cheap way to move up out of the outside elite. I think the top 7 are almost can't miss. You know, like those guys in there, Warren and all the other guys that we've talked about in that area. If I can package up, I'm thinking as a contender, package up my late first and late second and go up and get a Marion Hampton to fill in my running back room, go up there and get Ted McMillan or Hunter to go and do that. I'm smashing this one all. And he even wrote, Hampton is the last piece of the puzzle. That's why I love you, Bayudoth. How do you pronounce? I was like, you guys pronounce that. I love the YouTube questions because they're always a little bit different than how Twitter puts them together. So I love it.
All right, trade 13, a little over halfway done here, boys. We got Lard Boy from the Discord, one side with George Pickens and the other side with the 201. We haven't talked really much about Pickens and how his value changed with DK coming in. The draft is 2 days away. I'm a Steelers fan. You can see my room. And we only have Skylar Thompson and Mason Rudolph on the roster. So getting a little bit worried. But Dad, where we have Pickens valued and rookie pick value, and I guess that would lead us to which side you take here.
When they take Jackson Dart as their quarterback, like what I saw a horrible interview where they were interviewing Shedeur Sanders, and he said what quarterbacks are on his Mount Rushmore, and he said the future quarterback that's going to be throwing to Pickens and Metcalf, and I hope it's not Shedeur. But I mean, George Pickens value wise went last year we were talking about 106, 107. Now he's fallen into that late first. I think I would take the shot on George Pickens talent wise here. It really depends on where you're at. Like this is one where I think draft day Pickens could be moved. He could be moved somewhere where he's going to get tons of volume. Talent wise, he's better than most players. He's better than any wide receiver that's going to fall to 201 because I think it'll be between him and like Luther Burden. The 201 is the new flashy toy. So 201 probably has better value right now. But Snook, I mean, what pick are we paying for George Pickens? 203? I would probably like 201 feels about right, but then I look at it and you're like, you're giving up on Loveland, Caleb Johnson, or Jackson Dart.
I want the 201 all day, especially right now. I have more liquid ability to do whatever I want with that 201, especially on draft day. It's going to be a lot more valuable than Pickens just for what it is, in my opinion. So sell George Pickens for the 201 if that's what you would be getting in this situation. All
right. Trade number 14 coming from John Lord over on Discord. We We got one side with the 101, 110, and Penix, and the other side with the 103, 109, and Trey McBride. Little note here, it is a best ball full rebuild. Start 2 tight end, and it's a 0.75 tight end premium. That lean you toward the McBride side, or what do we think here, Snoog?
Yeah, I want the McBride side in this trade, I think.
Yeah, I'm smashing McBride.
Yeah.
I love it. Because, like,
yep.
Penix in the 109, or the 109, 110, let's just rule that out. So then it becomes 101 Penix or 103 McBride. And in this format, in start 2, 0.75, he's arguably worth the same as the 101. I mean, like, he's in that area. I would still prefer
definitely
the 101,
worth like 2.5 firsts.
It's close. You know what I mean? Like, that type of format, he's untouchable. He should be someone that you won't trade. And like the gap between 103 and 110, now I'm getting something else that's another premier asset. I think this is a great trade, especially in a rebuild. So we have tons of trades still to cover here. We're going to do our best. I see in the group chat, there's literally just dozens of them. We need 2 more super chats to move into that next tier. Let's get those bowls. Let's get that. Let's get the spinners going. You know, we want to get that rolling. So Notorious is back. He's got a great question here.
Yeah, and Notorious was actually doing a super chat last week and somehow didn't end up on the spinner. We'll blame Snook for that one. So we'll make sure to get him on the one this week for his super chat last week. I know he wasn't on that one. But we got his trade coming in saying one side, Jaden Daniels, Devon Achane, Jameson Williams, and the 305. Other side was Stroud, the 101, 208, 302, 26 first. Give you guys a second to kind of sift through those picks there. I know there's a lot there on one side, but when you're ready, Dad, which side do we like here?
I'm holding on to Jaden Daniels here. I love Stroud and Genty are nice, but I prefer Daniels and A-Chain over Stroud and Genty. And then JMO over the 2 is equivalent to what we're talking about, maybe with that 26 first. So then it becomes, is the 208 enough for me to move off of Jaden Daniels? And for me, the answer is no. I don't think in any format CJ Stroud scores anything even remotely close to what Jaden Daniels does. The Genty's going to score more than A-Chain, but that's not even a lot because A-Chain's put up serious points. I think I'm holding on to Daniels, but if you're okay moving A-Chain plus to get to the 101, sure, but don't move Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, I'm kind of at that point too right now where I'm kind of just like, I don't want to trade Daniels, A-Chain, and JMO, who I could probably get an early second or random first with JMO in the 305. So that's just such a weird trade. I don't like that trade.
It's a cluster trade. Hey, we did hit 10. We got our guy there, Blue K Prods. Another staple. Love it, baby.
All right. Yeah, there's Ed sent one just to get us there, and then Blue K got us to 10. Puka and James Cook, or Puka, excuse me, on one side, and then James Cook in the 110. Dad, I heard it. Bring her on out.
Yo, Puka Nacua getting a foundational wide receiver by moving Cook, who Snoog and I have both mentioned that, borderline sell right now, not having a contract, working that way, getting a late first. I'm smashing this all day. This would have to be maybe 106 for me to even consider it. Love you, Ed. Ed throws it in there just to get to 10. Love the support, guys. We, honestly, every single week you guys come out big time in that. If we get to the 15, we'll make it even more worthwhile for you guys. But let's move on to Smash trade number 16. Here we go. This one's a fun one.
All right. Trade 16 here coming from Buckeye26 over on Discord. We got one side with Nico Collins and a 27 second. Other side with JJ McCarthy and the 104. Looks like he's also willing to give 104 Fields and the 212 and then keep JJ McCarthy. And then again, we see these every week. Thanks for the Discord. The channel is awesome. Content's awesome. Dad, what do we think here for the first trade? And then, or would you make it 104 Fields and the 212? What do we think on those two options?
I'm taking McCarthy 104. I mean, that's the value wise. I'm going to get Ted McMillan or I'm going to get Travis Hunter, both of them, blue chip type guys. And then I get myself a quarterback. So I have Nico worth slightly more than the 102, less than the 101. Would I trade McCarthy in the 104 to get to the 102 all day long? The 27 second isn't enough to sway me. I do love Fields, but I don't think Fields 104 is the same kind of value in this one for me. I just don't think that 212. So that's saying Fields 212 equals McCarthy, and I don't think it does.
Yeah, I want the JJ side as well here, for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, Snook, if we're in this area where this happens sometimes, where you have 6 quarterbacks, right? And I think if you trade McCarthy plus to get to Nico, I think that's brilliant. But I don't think the 104 is the gap. Like I would pay McCarthy in the 106, 7 for Nico, maybe. Like I think that's kind of where we're at. But 104, that's just too much.
All right. Trade 17 from I Am Snow over on the Discord. We got one side with the 108, George Pickens, Chris Olave, and a 26 first. The other side with BTJ and the 201. Snoog, I'm going to kick this one over here to you. What do we think?
Oof. I said I'd take the 201 over Pickens, so let's just say that cancels out. Am I trading BTJ for Olave and 2 firsts? I think I'm going to take BTJ in this situation.
I am too. I was worried you were going to say that one because we worked through this one. I saw this is intentionally why I put in the Pickens 201 one. This was a totally different trade, but I was like, yeah, let's negate these guys out of this trade. Olave is a risky commodity. Could you come out of this with? I'm assuming the 26 first is late, so then I'm saying, all right, BTJ is the real deal. Olave is what we wanted from like a BTJ type. You know, we wanted him to be that. We're into year 4 now. We haven't seen it. He's had injury risks. I'm smashing BTJ all day.
All right. Trade 18 coming from Tay23 over on the Discord. Got one side with the 101 and 201. Other side with the 104, 109, and a 27 first. Dad, I'm going to kick this one over here to you. What do you think?
I think everything really moves around because of where that 27 first is. If that 27 first is early, it's the 104 side. If that 27 first is mid, it's Genty. If the 27 first is late, it's 100% Genty, right? Like the gap between 109 and 201 is not that big. I would not sell Genty for the 104 and a 27 first unless Snoog, it's middle and it has a chance to be early. Then I would consider it, but you're giving away the real deal in Ashton Genty here. So I lean Genty, but it's a very interesting trade for sure. Rebuilding, take away the 201 and I'll take it. You know, like then I'm taking it.
That's what I was thinking. I'm going to try to take the 201 away and give a 26 or 27 second, maybe a third, and try to keep that 201. And then I would do it. Otherwise, I'm keeping Genty.
Hey, there's lucky number 11. New guy on the show. Here we go.
All right. Hell yeah. We got our 11th super chat coming from Dr. Bigums. So we appreciate the super chat there, Doctor. We got one side with the 102, Tucker Kraft, a 26 second. The other side with Amon Ra, 10 team super flex, tight end premium, half point. That adds anything to Kraft. But where we at currently with Amon Ra, boys? And which side do we like here? I'll pass over to you, Dad.
So Amon Ra, I have over the 101. So, I mean, would I trade the 101 for the 102 Kraft in a second? No, I would take the Amon Ra side, especially in a 10-teamer where I see it's tight end premium, but in a 10-team league, it's all about the studs. Hampton's going to be great, but I don't think it's the same as getting an actually bona fide. I mean, let's be honest. Amon Ra St. Brown is the cheapest wide receiver 1. He finished wide receiver 5 last year, and you get him at a discount every single year. That makes me sneeze too. You know, I'm taking Amon Ra St. Brown. Snoop?
Yeah, give me Amon Ra. Give me Amon Ra. Feels like it's not like I feel like this is a trade you could get done in a good amount of leagues.
Oh yeah.
Like I feel like you could get this done for Amon Ra. So this is what we say when I say I've been helping a lot of people out with their roster reviews that have the 102 in a rebuild or in a situation where it's kind of like a 1-year punt or they need some cornerstone wide receivers. And I'm literally like, take that 102, take a second, take a third, take 2 thirds, take a second, a third, go try to get Amon Ra, go try to get Nico Collins, go try to get Puka, go try to take advantage of rookie fever and sell high on that 102 because it's really valuable right now. And I really think, I don't care if it's Hunter, Hampton, Henry, whoever that, whether I love or hate the prospect, whoever it is, I really think it's a great time to sell that 102.
Oh yeah,
it really is.
Yeah. And right after the draft, it will be too because let's be Hunter's going to go second overall, and Hampton's going to go, in my opinion, top 12. And now you have 2 guys who are coming off that buzz where you might be able to add a second and get to Amon Ra St. Brown. You might be able to add a second and get to BTJ because people want that shiny new toy. And we're going to do trade shows next Tuesday where we're going to help you guys after the draft get to a spot where you can dominate some of these trades, you know. And I think it's all about trade windows. You have the opportunities, you have these scenarios where you get opportunities to trade. Just like LB Money, he's back in, baby.
Back in for the third time, LB Money. Hopefully, LB LeBron James, my Lakers, can hopefully get a dub tonight, besides the fact. But he said he'd like to get off of James Cook. And does he also sell high on Ladd? So it looks like he's trying to sell both of these players from what it sounds like. We've kind of done a lot of Ladd Discord over the past few weeks. Maybe touch on that and then dive a little bit more into James Cook. I will throw this one over to you here, Dad. What do we think?
Yeah, I mean, Ladd's worth the 103 right now. James Cook's worth the 107, 108. I think both of these guys are prime guys that I like to tier up off of. So we saw that with the Malik Neighbors trade. If I have Ladd, I'm trying to trade up for a elite level asset. He's a foundational asset. I want an elite foundational game winner. I keep talking about that in roster reviews is, yeah, Ladd's foundational, but he's not going to win you your league. Guys like Brian Thomas Jr., Malik Neighbors, you know, those guys have the ceiling to win your leagues. Ladd's going to keep you in it. James Cook, same kind of thing, is I'm trying to tier up. I'm trying to get myself, you know, moving up to a Bucky Irving or a, you know, Saquon Barkley, or I'm trying to tier back and get an Alvin Kamara plus a pick. So that's really what I'm trying to do with those guys is sell high, insulate. I think Snoog in multiple scenarios here, we talk about different insulated trades, but you could get James Cook and a really nice James Conner type, you know, James Cook for James Conner and a first, or you could trade Ladd for, you know, a Chris Godwin plus a really nice first, and you can move yourself into a spot to potentially keep winning.
Yeah, I think if you're rebuilding, yes, sell both of these guys, get a bunch of draft picks, get 2 firsts plus for Ladd, or an early first and a second, and then trade James Cook, like Dad said, for a mid first or a random first in the future in a second. If you're contending and you need depth, I like turning Cook in a second into Kamara in a first, or Mixon in a first, or CMC in a first. And I like turning Ladd into maybe DJ Moore, T. Higgins, Devontae Smith, one of those guys, plus a first and give a second, or plus an early second or something like that you can kind of do to tier up if you need some depth. But if you're contending and you don't need depth, keep Ladd, sell James Cook.
Kyle Wynn got us to our 13th super chat there with, again, just for the love of the game. You know, we might have to start. We're talking about some Smash Accept t-shirts. Maybe we go with the for the love of the game. We get the cowbell ones in there. We're not going to put the one that says Dad smashed my cowbell cherry. I don't think that's a t-shirt we're going to start selling, you know, so that one's a little bit off key.
All right, trade 20 here coming from Trent McBride. We got one side with T-Law and the 101, other side with Kyler, the 105, and the 202. Snoog, curious, before you go into this, where do you have Kyler versus T-Law currently in your quarterback rankings? And then which side do you like here?
I want the T-Law side. T-Law is in my top, I think, 16, 17 in QB rankings. I think Kyler's 12 or 11 or 13, somewhere in that range. But 101 over 105 and 202. I'd need another first plus on the Kyler side to do that.
Yeah, I have Kyler at 12, Lawrence at 16. I think Kyler's worth maybe a second over Lawrence right now. But Genty, this is a great way. Again, looking at it, you're just like, oh, wow, I upgrade at quarterback. I stay in the top 5 picks and I get the 202. But then you examine the difference between Ashton Genty and anything you're getting at that 105, 202. They're nice players. They're not foundational game winners, league winners like Ashton Genty. All
right, good one there, Trent. Next trade coming from Darren B 300. Recognize the name from last week. We got one side with 101, 109, and 401. Other side with Brock Bowers in the 106. Now he's saying no tight end premium, Dad. Earlier this show, you said, hey, Bowers, I see him. I want him. What do you think here with JT on one side, no tight end premium? Does this change anything, or still taking Bowers?
I'm smashing Bowers. I don't care if it's tight end premium. The positional difference here, and then you're getting I have Bowers worth the 101 or above. In tight end premium, he's worth more than the 101. In 0.75, he's considerably more than the 101, and the 106 is better than the 109. The 401 doesn't mean anything to me at all. So this is a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, me too. I like Bowers' side here.
And he also has the 102, 105, 110. So he's going to get the running back to replace. He's going to get. little technical difficulty there, but here we go.
Before we jump into that one, we do have our 14th super chat, Dad, coming from Oscar Alonso. We appreciate the super chat there, Oscar. He said, also known as Lard Boy. So he was the one that had that trade earlier.
Yeah.
We got a 12-team super flex start 11, 1.10 in premium PPR, and he is rebuilding. He's got Brees, Sammy LaP, May at 27 first, and Jaylen Coker. I've never called him that. I don't know why that came out. He gave up Josh Allen and Juwan Jennings and Derrick Henry. So one side, Brees, Laporta, May at first, Coker. Other side with Allen, Juwan, and Derrick. And this show rocks. That's a nice little final touch there. But Snoog, what do we think here on this one? Which side do we like? Rebuilding.
I like the May side because I'm going to take Laporta in a second and get 2 first, and I'm going to do the same thing with Brees Hall.
Yeah, I think it's the beginning of a teardown, right? Like, I think, could you have squeaked a little bit more? Possibly, but you get Drake May, who's, worth 2 firsts to me. Brees Hall, who's worth a mid first. Sam Laporta, who's worth a mid first. We say Josh Allen is worth 4 firsts, so we add a little bit extra in there since some of those are mids. I think that closes the gap. Jennings is just a means to an end, and Derrick Henry is a guy that you're looking to trade on a rebuild. So can you get more if you just trade Josh Allen and Derrick Henry separately? Possibly, but in this particular one, you get another foundational quarterback. You get the 27 first. Now you move Brees for a 27 first plus. You move Laporta for 2 picks. We're good. This is how you start the rebuild process. This is your splash trade. Appreciate you, Oscar, aka Lard Boy. Love that. Love that name. That's one of my favorite ones. We have so many guys in there that have just super creative ones. One guy's last name is Bacon, so his name's Crispy Bacon. Awesome guys. So we're back. We did. We have 3 more trades. Opportunity for 1 more super chat. So let's get it going.
All right. Trade 22 coming from Frey over on the Discord. We got one side with the 105, other side with the 109 and 202. You guys broke down your tiers earlier. You said maybe like 6-7 range. So would you go outside of it for picking up an early second, or are we sticking with the 105, Snoog? What do we think?
I'm going to keep the 105 here, but I could see a scenario if like a Emeka Egbuka goes first round and he's at the 109. When I'm on draft, I wouldn't do this type of trade maybe. But like right now for face value, it's the 105 by a lot.
Well, and that's the thing. We have the big 7, but Judkins goes to the Broncos in the early second, and Ibuka goes to the Texans, and now all of a sudden we got 9. Like the 109 could get real juicy, could close that gap. So as of right now, they'll hold the 105. Everybody that has the better pick, you don't have to move it right now.
Yeah,
like you're in the position of power. So there's no reason. Dynasty, it's all about who's in control right now, and the guy that's in control is my new guy, Dr. Biggums.
Dr. Biggums.
Throw another super chat in there for the boys. So let's get that ready, Snoog. We got 15 ready to go for that spinner wheel. I'm excited. We got Smash Accept 19 is rolling out. Should be in the next 2 weeks. That's Smash Accept. I'm not sure if we should call it international or global, but 24 different countries. So we're excited to start that one. And then Smash Accept 20. That's going to be our high roller league, Snoog. I got to get you back in there. We're talking 200 plus to get in. This is for the big boys, so that one's going to be real fun.
All right. While Snoog's pulling up that wheel, we got a few trades here to close us out. This one's coming from Brady over on the Discord. A lot of Bucky trades tonight, boys. So we got one side with Bucky, the 202, 209, 212. Other side with the 108, 109, and Marshawn Lloyd. Snoog, what do we think here on this one?
Bucky Irving, all day long.
Yeah.
Bucky way over the 108, and honestly 202, 209, and 212 over the 109. Like in a class like this, depth wise, there's a real good chance that if Shedeur Sanders and Matthew Golden go in that 109 to 111 range, I'm going to get a guy I like better at the 202 than those 2 guys. And that's happened in drafts before for me. Happened last year when people were taking Jonathan Brooks 109 to 111, and I was getting Lad McConkey, Brian Thomas Jr., Xavier Worthy a couple picks later. It happened in 2023 when I was getting Devon A-Chain and some of these other guys like Sam Laporta and stuff in the early second range when other people were taking a lot of the guys like Kincaid above them and those type of players. And I was just like, all right, I'll just take A-Chain because he's fallen. So
Brock, we hit our 15, so we promised a 15-minute extra Q&A. We always go for an hour, so we got 10 more minutes. If you guys want to jump in there, we're going to do 2 more trades, and then it's all about you guys. Drop them in there. We'll cover them rapid fire as much as possible. This one's fun.
All right. Yeah, trade 24 coming from Joseph Spanier over from the Discord. We got Puka in the 102 or London and the 101. This is probably one of the closer ones that we've covered off tonight. Dad's wishes, Snook. I'm going to kick this one over here to you. What do we think?
Let me get Lund easy. 101 over 102 by a mile, and then London and Puka is a lot closer than 101 and 102 is for me.
Yep.
And I told him the same. He gave me a couple tear emojis, but I said it's not that bad. You know, like I prefer Puka considerably over London, but not as much as I prefer Genty over Hampton, as much as or whoever you're going to take in that area. So, yeah, I think that's the way here. And I promised I would do it. In Smash Accept 16, big time trade. Here we go.
All right. This one's coming from Chan Hewist J Race 4. What a name. It's from the Smash Accept League.
Chan Hughes and J Race 4.
Oh, okay. We got either side of the boys here. We got one side, Puka and the 201. Other side with Rome, the 107 and the 204. Snook, you took the last one. So, Dad, I'll kick this one over here to you. What do we think here?
I'm smashing Puka. I told him that in the chat. I was like, I'm taking Puka all day long. I would honestly argue that the 201 doesn't even need to be in here. Like I would Rome 107, 204, I think would be fair. The 201, you're squeezing some juice out there for me. Yeah, I think that's the way.
I'm smashing the Puka side because I think right now, today, that it's a much more valuable side. But I think that further down the road in like a year or two, if Rome hits his ceiling and ends up being the guy in Ben Johnson's offense, I could see this being close. Like I could see a scenario where someone would do something like this, especially if they're rebuilding and they have a bunch of turd sandwiches and don't really have any assets and I kind of need to do something like this. But if I'm contending and I got Amon-Ra St. Brown, Drake London, Garrett Wilson, and I can start 4 wideouts and I want to turn Roman and Puka, I'm smashing it.
Yeah, and that's my my mixtape's coming out. It's called Dynasty Dad Rebuilding with the Turd Sandwiches. It's going to be a great one. You guys got to tune into that. And we got 16th super chat in here, so let me pull that one up as we're going. So many questions here that you guys have that we are going to get to as many as possible. But Kyle Wynn is back in. He's got a 1 quarterback league here.
Yeah, Kyle Wynn. Appreciate another super chat there, Kyle. 1 quarterback, 12-team league. He's got one side with London, Pickens, couple fourths for the 103, early 26 first, and A-Rich. Got a cowboy?
This is a killer. 103, early 26 fit, and you get Richardson in there. You're moving London and a bunch of fourths. You know, I'm all on that. That's a great trade.
Me too.
I love it.
Me too. Yeah. With that second part, though, would you try and send Stroud, Caleb, and 309 for Jaden?
I told him to do that in 1 QB. In 1 QB,
one quarterback. Sorry.
Yeah. All day. I told him to do that in the Discord. He asked me that. I was like, yeah, take Jaden.
That's a big part there.
First, got to give a shout out to Al Kalo here. He said, "What's up, fellas? Big show before the draft. All the Sharks are coming for those picks now on Draft Thursday." Al has now started. We have him as one of the moderators in the Discord in Calo's Trade Corner. Super sharp guy. Just another avenue where Snoog and I are answering 1.5 million questions, but you got another great mind in there. Just answered questions for you guys. Like this one from Nick Romero. Snoog, Puka, Bucky, or 108 Ladd and Rice.
Rice side all day long. All day long.
Brock, you sticking with that?
Yeah, I'll take that side too.
I love it. Great job, guys. I have questions coming in, but this one's for the game. I love when he does that. We got one here. Why don't we go Gibbs for the 102 and $20 cap space? $20 real money, I'm in. I think I would do that. But give me Gibbs all day. This one almost reminds me of the one I saw on Barstools where the guy traded Tony Pollard in a night with his wife for Christian McCaffrey. I don't know if you guys saw that one. Some serious debate there. You know what I mean? Like, she's taking one for the team. That's a winner. You got yourself a great wife if she's getting you that fantasy championship. But if you guys haven't seen that video, that one killed me.
That is funny. That's
awesome.
I mean, hey, you better win it, because we're going to talk about, it's like every now and then you get these scenarios in your marriage where you're like, this is going to come back later on. And there's no way there's ever an argument where they doesn't get settled where, you let your friend plow me for a Christian McCaffrey. You know, it's just not going to happen. All right, Caleb Phillips here. Brock, we're going to go with you. 102 and Ayuk or Laporta. Yeah, we did. Caleb, there's no double dipping on this show. Let's move on. Let's move on to there. There
was a lot of Bucky and Hampton messages there.
Mm-hmm. Here's one from Dustin Ross. Sell Laporta and a second for Kraft and a 27 first. What do you think there?
I'll take Laporta.
Yeah, I don't see the need to do that, especially throwing the second too.
Wow, this
Kraft
is crazy.
Discount Laporta.
Jason Race says someone just sold Reed for the 108 in one of my leagues today. Thank you.
I knew there was some suckers out there. I knew there was some suckers out there that you could do it. I knew it.
You know this is a Bucky comment, so we're gonna get some Bucky and Lad hate. There we go. Jack Colavecchio. Snook loves being contrarian with Hampton.
Nobody else is gonna say it, so I'll do it.
Shooty says Hampton top 12, please. We're gonna get that going. Miller top 12 happening. Plosky, same thing.
you guys are gonna be real sad. It's gonna be like when you lose your puppy at the playground.
Hey, but Dan Grimm
keeps slipping.
Man, why are you messing with my dog? You know, but Dan Grimm says Bucky's a Cinderella story. He's about to turn into a pumpkin. A lot of opportunities here to sell. What about this one? Jacobs and Najee or the 107 and 207, Snoop?
107.
Take the picks.
Yeah, I would as well. Let's keep cruising down here. So many super chats. It's tough to kind of see them. It ain't, I love this. Dr. Bigham says it ain't a trade show if we can't get Snoop fired up on a Lad deal. It's just fun because it's like guys continue to get in there. What are we asking to get rid of Mahomes in a 1 PPR non-super flex any first, any year? Like you're trying to get yourself into that area. You're trying to, Snook? I mean, you might even need to get creative, but I would definitely tear down. Big Fish Dog wants to know the 104, the 108, and 109, bro.
I'm gonna take the 108 and 109 here, honestly. If that was like a top 2-3 pick, that's where I have a few of those guys that I really want. But I don't know, 2 top 9 picks, 104 could be good, but like Snook said, we might get some guys with some good landing spots that push a few back. Again, though, there's no need to make this now, guys. We're 2 days away from seeing landing spots. We're a week away from your actual draft. If I see someone on the clock there at 104 that I love, there's no need to make the trade. But right now, that's the side I'd lean.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull that one up. And what do you think, Snoop?
I just think at the 108, 109, just looking at the consensus market value right now, I'm getting Ibuka and Judkins. I want that side as of today. But like Brock said, you don't need to make that trade right now because that trade's always going to be on the table for the guy that wants to move up to 104. Like he's not going to.
He's moving up for something. He wants something.
Yeah, right. So.
And here's the thing is, and we just put this into one of the coolest things in the Discord is just put in group to chat. You know, we did this for Scott Fishbowl where it's like you're drafting from the 1 spot, the 2 spot. So you have all guys in there. I've created 1 through 12. If you have the 101, there's an entire room dedicated to just talking about trades from the 101. When you're on your draft, who's picking guys? If you want to talk about like-minded people, if you're going for the 101, you're there. Like I have the 104 worth the 105 and 202, 106 and 212, 107 and 110, or the 108 and 109. So this is an equivalent for me at this current juncture. So I mean, I would rather stick with the higher tier asset, which is the 104. Josh Allen and Marv or Mahomes, Puka, a third and a fourth. Yeah. Yes. Smash that. Honestly, the gap between Mahomes and Josh Allen is a lot bigger.
That's just crazy. It keeps widening. It keeps widening.
Well, that's because Josh Allen's never finished below QB2, and the last 3 years, Mahomes has been right there on that outside. So, Snoop, let's get that wheel going. We did an extra 15 minutes there. That was fun. We got to give away 2 rookie guides. This is 2 premiums. So 2 rookie guides, 2 VIP Patreons. We did the 15 minutes. Let's get it going.
Number 1.
I love that. That spinner noise is sexy.
Ed Mayer.
Ed. All right. Congratulations. Let's hear that cheer. Ed, we will send you a draft guide. Ed's the OG. All right. We took him out of the equation. Who's going to be the second one here? I'm thinking Brandon Jacobs. You know, we told the cocaine story. I think it's going to be B. Jakes.
Bigums.
Dr. Bigums. Bigums.
Bigums.
Welcome to the show.
What's the prognosis, Dr. Bigums?
That's all. I love it. This was
one more for fun.
One more for fun.
One more
right,
generous for the rookie draft guide. This one's for the guide only. Oh, it was almost Jacobs.
Caleb Phillips for the win. I love it. We got a comment in there afterwards. I just want to make
everyone
sure.
DM me on Twitter.
Hey, Ed. And finally, you know what I mean? I feel like he's searching for the right gift to send us where it's like, I can relax. You know, it's like Thanos. He can just relax and let the universe come to him now. Bigums says, let's go. Guys, another fun trade show. Every single week, it keeps getting better and better. You guys keep coming out. No better time than right now to, you know, he put Fire Podcast with the cowbell. No better time to join the Patreon. Right now, you guys can get in code SMASH. 50% off your first month. Code, let's see if we can pull it back up there at the top. There's so many group chats. I can't even keep them all straight. Or code DRAFT to get 25% off for your yearly. You know, we have tiers starting at $5. That's your basic. Gets you everything content-wise, and you can ask Snoog and I basic trade questions. To our VIP, which is $10, where we will, you know, a little bit more in-depth help you out. Cowbell's trying to get back in here for the VIPs because that's the most popular one. But you're going to get preferred and quicker access to us from that. And then there's the all access where we're literally doing everything for you, trying to help you out in any way possible. So Snoog and I are doing roster reviews. Snoog and I are doing hundreds of DMs a day. It's been wild, but we are here to help you guys absolutely smash your rookie draft. So thanks again for tuning in and enjoy the process.